Welcome back to the Ultimate Trader Workshop. In this video, we're going to deal with some more trade psychology. Remember, in one of my previous videos, I talked about less being more, and I've talked a lot about slowing down. So I want to show you guys a very simple technique that I use when I've identified a pattern and then what to do after you've done that. So of course, many of you know by now, I'm pretty much a swing trader or a long-term trader. I mean, I'm trading on larger time frames, day, weekly, even month, if you go look at some of the more recent videos. And what I like to do is I'll key in on the area in the chart in which the pattern should complete. Now, remember, on these larger time frames, it's going to take a little bit more, okay? So what that's going to do, what you should allow it to do, is to take the edge off, because you know you're not there yet. Okay, you know it's going to take some time to get there, instead of, trying to jump in and out on smaller time frames and going after these really small positions. Of course, you guys know I want the big fish. But it's going to take a little bit more time, because you're not jumping in and out of 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, an hour, and stuff like that. You want the whole entire move, okay? You're basically trading what's real instead of just those small little segments. You could do those as well. And many traders are profitable just trading little small sections and things of that sort. So I want to walk through a couple of examples and show you guys how I approach the market once I've identified a trading opportunity, of course. Okay, so and the one that we see here, this is pound CHF. There are two things on the table. Of course, the most interesting one is the big one on the outside, the advanced Gartley pattern. But that should fill in combination or confluence with the little green butterfly that's in there, okay? Remember, we're on the weekly chart. It's close. So when I say take the edge off, that's what I mean. There's really nothing to worry about. To be honest with you, it's a much more peaceful trading life, because you can come look at that and you can come look at it, later on. You can skip a couple of days. You can even skip a week. You can skip a week and come say, we either got the fill or we didn't, okay? And that would be both patterns. Not only that, just because they filled, I still would need another series of things to happen, because I might just pass them up and not trade at all. Remember, less is more, okay? So that's how I approach the market. When I've identified my patterns, I've identified my, I'll call it, area of interest. This is just an area that I'm concerned with, not necessarily a price to a certain point or penny like many of us are led. I'm not concerned with that. I need to see certain things happen once the pattern is completed and filled, and I need to see once it's activated, and then I need to see when the conviction. So I needed to confirm that it is going to react, and then I need to see the conviction. I need to see a crowd get behind it to start pushing it towards its targets. Okay, so I know this one is, sorry, kind of preachy. I'm talking a lot and you're not seeing me draw that much, because of course the stuff is already here. But what I'm interested in is, see the top, the A point, the A to D area down here. I'm interested in that. That's what I want. So knowing that this is something that takes a long time, also knowing that this might not ever fill at all, and I might have to scrap this whole thing and go find something else to do, and be okay with that. Okay, we got to get the edge off that. We got to be trading or we're not making money. Trust me, you're going to make just as much money across a year if you take a couple of trades versus the amount of money that you would have made if you would have taken 1,000 trades. If you take those little 1,000 trades and you lose half of them, let's give you a 50% win ratio, but you don't win more on your winners than you lose on your losers, you're coming out on the negative end anyway. A trader who sits in the market and doesn't take any trades made more than that trader who took 1,000 trades. Yes, I did say that. Okay, so that's how I would approach that, looking for something like that. Of course, I'm not going to take any action unless this concludes with confirmation in the form of a 3-bar reversal, engulfing candle, doji, and then trigger an entry showing that, okay, it turned. and I got a high enough CTS score. It was oversold. I got some divergence and anything else. And plus, I got the power, in this case here, the combination of two patterns stacking on top of each other, okay? Let's look at another example. Looks like we're not going to have to be here that long. Now, I did talk about this pattern on NZD/USD in another video. And that's because there was a 2618 opportunity that looked like it was forming. So it was basically the double bottom in here, and it's one of the recent videos. It was a double bottom followed by break and close followed by 618 retracement. In that video, I clearly stipulated the 2618 was filling here, that if you never got the 3-bar reversal, then you were to leave it alone. And if you did get it, you could take your chances, okay? Now, it never happened. The 3-bar reversal was never conformed. Engulfing candle, doji, trigger and entry never closed above the doji. So there was no entry. This is a bypass. I also, in that video, alluded to the good thing about it is there's also a nice bat pattern. You guys can go look at that video. I'll try to tag it in here. But there was also a bat pattern that would be on its way, and once that filled, then like I said, we will sit back and wait, and we'll see what happens once the bat pattern fills. And if and only if, the same thing, rinse and repeat. If an engulfing candle followed by doji followed by trigger and entry candle closing above the doji, only if that's presented will I even trade the bat pattern. So this allows me to just sit back and chill and relax and do everything else that I do. Make videos, record videos, do research. I still do have a day job as an engineer, for those who don't know. I'm not that rich yet. But so this is how I approach it. It's much better for me to sit back and wait, because all the other traders are just getting whipsawed and destroyed and sniped out and wonder what's going on. Especially the way that the market is moving right now. There's a lot of crazy little fundamentals going on. Government shutdown, stock market swinging up 20 points one day and down 20 the next day. Just a whole lot of madness, okay? So that's how, okay? Less is more. Relax. Give yourself time to think. Give yourself time to take your eyes off these charts. Enjoy your life, okay? Let's look at another example. Dollar yen. Let me go back for a second, okay? So that's the area of interest. I'm interested in that area. So that's a better way for you to think about it. I'm interested in that area, and that's the only thing that I'm interested in. And if you're not giving me that, I don't care. There's a million other things to do, okay? So let's do that again here for dollar yen for USD JPY. You see where the area of interest is. The area of interest is when the cipher pattern fills. And until it fills, I don't care what happens. I don't care if it starts to roll over and starts to pay off. My pattern wasn't filled. It's not valid. You don't go late and you don't chase. Okay, so this allows me to sit back and relax. I've been watching this thing since it was down here for 3 weeks, working its way up. Now he looks like he's starting to stall a little bit because of dollar weakening or dollar kind of stagnating, maybe even consolidating. The conviction that was there seems to be fading a little bit. And if you look at RSI, it's almost overbought. Not overbought, but almost overbought. It's getting pretty tight up there, okay? Not a whole lot more room to move. But I don't care about it. I'm not concerned until we fill that bad boy with an engulfing candle. And then it's going to take another week for it to give us a doji candle and then a trigger and entry bar closing beyond the doji. If that doesn't happen, I don't give a damn about this thing. It allows me to sit back and wait, go do something else. Maybe I might want to go jump over to a smaller time frame and just find something just to play around or, keep myself occupied. But obviously there's enough to stay occupied with if you just look at the ticker over here. Okay, one more and then we'll get out of here. Area of interest, this is pound yen. So dollar yen short cipher and pound yen short Gartley, bear Gartley. Now this is a strange one. I had to leave it alone and I'm glad I did because it would have been a complete headache, okay? The thing about this Gartley pattern is back the week of 10/6, early October, we're 10/6 November now, pushed up and filled this, okay? And started reacting, but then would have took it back. So you're down, up, and then coming back over here. Okay. So yes, the trade would be in profit, but there's not enough conviction there. It's not like this pushed up through it and gave me 3 bars. So this is one, there's still uncertainty here. I don't want to, I mean, there's never certainty, let me be honest, but I don't want, I want a little bit more probability, and my probability that I want is not there. So I've been sitting waiting to see if this revisits that area and pushes back in there to retest that, then I'll look for the reaction. But again, this is the area of interest. We are still dealing with that area of interest. Nothing has happened. Nothing has happened to make me say, oh, it's gone. It didn't work. I missed out on that Garley. I should have traded it. No. Okay, let's back up for this one right here. We'll just go to the larger time frame. So you see a different picture. Different picture. There's still a long way to go with this thing. All right. There's still a lot to do. So you got the fill, and then you got this crazy wick here where a pound was down, but sucked back up. Okay, here's the low, and it's got this little small wafer body. So there's nothing to say that there won't be another attempt going that way. So how would I feel being short here? And let's say next week's candle is a black bullish candle. Now I'm going to draw down on a trade I shouldn't even be in. Okay, so it's all about being able to identify your area of interest. Okay, once you've identified a pattern, identify your area of interest, and then you just pretty much keep an eye on it. You can even set alerts in TradingView. You can say, hey, hit the little thing here. Give me an alert on that. Give me an alert on that. When you get here, send me an alert. And that don't mean that, oh, it's time to trade it. Oh my God. It means, okay, it's time to come and take a look at this. Okay, you're getting somewhere. That's what it means. So this is all about slowing down, people. Okay, it's already hard enough. It's already scary enough, I guess, because your capital is at risk, and your job as the account manager is to protect the capital. That's your number one job, is to manage that, not only that account, but each trade that you make and each decision that you make. That's your job as an account manager. You're the investor. You're in charge, especially if it's your money. Okay, so you got to know, like, you got to ask, like, would you hire you to manage your account? I would hire me to manage my accounts, absolutely. But area of interest, okay? So that's what I want us to do with this one. Come show you guys that. Were there any more we could talk about area of interest? No, that's good enough. It's probably some more, but I'll leave it like that. So, want to know about any of the patterns that we talked about here? Gartley, Cypher, 3-bar reversals, all this Fibonacci stuff. When I mentioned CTS, overbought, oversold, RSI, some of the other many things we do. Hopefully you know where to go find them. Head on over to the Harmonic Trading Academy playlist, where we teach everything that we talked about in this video in detail. I think there's about 45 classes in there. If you want to dig in deeper, to deal with some of the more psychological sides of trading, that's where we have Turning Point. Turning Point is the advanced upper level to the Harmonic Trading Academy. And of course, we have the Ultimate Trader Workshop, where there's just lots and lots of good fun stuff and learning. So should I ask that you guys hit the like button before I even went and did something like this amazing video. You know how it's always going to be here at the Harmonic Trading Club, but hit the like button so the algorithm can go ahead and do its thing. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. Head on over to the Harmonic Trading Academy playlist, where all of this is. And that's all we have on this one. You guys be good. Take care of yourself in the market, and I will see you on the next one.